Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wellness Week Live. I am your host, DJ Anthony, and right there is my guest, Ashley. Ashley, how are you? Thanks for coming on Wellness Week Live.
Wonderful. Thank you.
So, to the viewers, if you don't know about Ashley, really interesting story. She is a bodybuilder who just won on July 30th the NPC Muscle Beach Championship in New Jersey. So she's our champion here out of New Jersey. She won a bodybuilding competition. She's a bodybuilder, among other things. So Ashley, congrats on that. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to have you on because I'm somebody that really, I'm interested in bodybuilding. So far as a tertiary, like I like to watch and learn about bodybuilding. I am not involved myself, but there's something about bodybuilding that I think all humans can appreciate because we all have bodies. And it's something that we can understand, it's our body, it's your body, and you're sculpting that, you're taking something that wasn't and now is. And I think on some level, we all can appreciate that. And I know certainly I can. So big shout out to you for doing this and climbing this mountain to become a bodybuilding champion. It's amazing. And I say bodybuilding champion because it's more than just, well, you're a male bodybuilder or a female bodybuilder. No. You're a bodybuilder, period. You did this, you earned it, you worked hard. And so again, big shout out to you. And now before I forget, Ashley, I just wanted to say, viewers, if you want to follow Ashley, she's on IG, Instagram, Foundations of Greatness. And so you can follow her there in her journey. So let's get into it, Ashley.
Let's do it.
All right. So I'm always curious as to why people do what they do, and especially when they reach these heights of a championship level or achieving something like this. So what got you into, and why did you choose to get into bodybuilding and not, I don't know, championship rowing or or fencing or what particularly about bodybuilding drew you to it?
I think we all could relate to during the quarantine. We just let ourselves go a little bit. I was enjoying food a little bit too much, and I just got to a point where I was like, I really want to do something to change. And I'd always been active my whole life. I actually did do dance, and I did crew for a little bit too, as you mentioned that. But I was like, I need something different. And I never really lifted heavy weights. And I saw these people on Instagram and YouTube, these girls lifting, and I'm like, oh, I want to do that.
Right.
I couldn't even do one pull-up before. And so I was like, let me see how far I could get myself. And then it became an addiction. So I had to do something with the weights. And I thought about powerlifting, but because I have back injuries, I thought that wouldn't be realistic. So bodybuilding was the next thing.
Wow. Okay, cool. And it's funny. I saw some photos of your competition and you winning. And for the viewers, I mean, you're the real deal. I was like, wow. Okay. Wow. You the other competitors were great too, but I can see, you won, and I can see why you won. On that day, you were better. And that's awesome. So I mean, you can tell you put the work in, and tell me what you think about this. I think it sounds like you were in sports your whole life as a younger person and in high school and whatnot. I think bodybuilding, like any sport, it's really more about this. You're competing against, especially bodybuilding, right? You are competing against other competitors, but it's really you're competing against you. Every day, the grind, the nutrition, the discipline, tenacity, failure, success, get back up, dust yourself off. It's you against you. And I think that's in any competition or sport, but bodybuilding, I mean, because it is just you. It's not, there is a team behind you. We'll get into that, but it's you out there on the stage, So what do you think about that assertion that I just said?
Yeah, it's actually interesting because I didn't use a coach or anything for my training for this show. I just knew I wanted to do it, and I didn't have the resources to get help. So I was determined to make it work for myself. And one of my favorite quotes that got me through this time was action precedes motivation. Right. Before I used to wait to feel motivated to do stuff. And once I started this show, I realized that wasn't going to work. Whether you feel like it or not, get up, get in the gym. Yeah. Not every day is going to be perfect, but you have to show up for yourself. And it worked.
Yeah. And to your point, I think, oftentimes we all have friends like this and people we know, and you hear people that are, well, I would do this, but I can't do that, or I can't do this. I don't have the money, or you know what, I'm not this. No, life rewards us. It doesn't matter where you are on earth. I get it. Not everybody can be the billionaire and the most but that's a cop out. Be your best self. And you're alluding to that. Just right. The first stride is the longest, the hardest, but just do it. Not to sound cliche like the commercial, but but if you want to tap out and you want an excuse, it's there for you, but if you want to millimeter by millimeter, step by step, it might take you 10 years. It might take you 10 days. It might take you 30 years. But to your point, you got up, you did it. I'm sure Ashley could use a lot of excuses why she couldn't do it, but you did it, and I'm sure, it wasn't easy. So let me ask you this next question then. So that's what got you involved. So we're going to jump around a little bit, but you hear bodybuilder, right? And you think like, 10,000 raw eggs, and I'm ripping apart a cattle, and I'm taking these supplements. I'm like, what is a typical, I guess two parts. So what's a typical breakfast, or do you eat breakfast? Some people do, some people don't.
Yeah, I eat breakfast sometimes.
Okay. So
yeah.
When you were competing in your training, what would be a typical breakfast when you were competing?
So here's the thing about me. I didn't like planning my meals. I need some variety, so it wouldn't be the same thing all the time.
But you weren't eating Lucky Charms.
No, generally I would have maybe some scrambled eggs, maybe I'll put a whole egg in there, but it's mostly whites. Sometimes I'll have some chicken with the eggs, or like a little bit of beef, whatever I'm feeling for that day.
Okay.
It depends. Yeah.
Now, is that different, and may or may not be, but is that different than when you're not training, or are you generally just healthy through and through, and it's just, or like, do you have a variation of what you're going to eat training, Ashley training, Ashley not training? Like, what would be the opposite then, or there is no opposite?
I wouldn't even say opposite. I pretty much am eating the same thing now that I'm reversing, but I'll just give myself a little more leeway. Like today I went and had an ice cream sundae without feeling bad about it.
Okay. So right. So but your breakfast, you like your eggs, you like your whatever, your meat. You're not gonna, right. It doesn't really vary then when you're training, except other than you're eating some naughty foods.
Yeah, so maybe now I have a croissant with my breakfast,
Shame on you. Okay.
More flexibility.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So now, and that kind of answered my third question, the nutrition prior, before and after. So what was the most challenging part? First, let me ask you this. How many months did you train prior to you winning the championship on July 30th? So how many months was training?
Training for this show, I started about 5 months. I started in February.
Almost half a year. Okay. So now, and how many hours? Because I think sometimes people who are not involved or not in the know, and I guess it varies, but you hear bodybuilder, you're like, oh my God, they live in the gym 15 hours a day. I mean, maybe you do, maybe you don't. For you, how many hours in a day or every other day? Like how long were you in a gym?
Like 3 to sometimes 5 hours. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
It's not because I needed to though. Like I just really like being.
Okay. So right. So it's less. Right. So the time you're actually working out, I get it. Right. So okay. So right, it might be an hour and a half of actual workout time, or maybe 2 hours of workout time, and then the rest you're kind of because you enjoy the gym.
No, it's more like I'll do a workout by myself in the morning. Then a friend is like, "Hey, do you want to work out later?" So then I'll do a second one, but not
during your training for the competition.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and obviously because this is your first competition, correct?
Yes, this was my first.
I'm assuming if you do it again and again and again, you'll start to tweak things, and you may have a coach or a trainer may not. You may work out longer, you may work out shorter. It depends, I guess, on how your journey unfolds over the years here and stuff like that, and who's your trainer and whatnot. And that's pretty cool that you trained yourself. Again, people can make excuses, right? Oh, I would have done it, but I don't have a trainer. Like you go, girl. Like boom, you just tenacity. I'm going to train myself. That's awesome. And I think I was going to say, whether you like it or not, you're a role model now for a lot of people, young and old. I mean, kids to senior citizens. I mean, you have a platform now, so I'm sure you already thought of this, but that's pretty cool and maybe a little bit nerve wracking. It's like, wow, now you're thrust into this spotlight. You're a champion. You did something that few will ever do. So yeah, how does that feel, role model?
Like you just said, it's really exciting. It warms my heart, but at the same time, it's like, oh my gosh, I have to be, so on point now because everybody's looking up to me.
Well, they are, and I know you motivated me when I reached out to our mutual friend Phyllis, and she's like, yeah, I can put you in contact with Ashley. I'm like, oh wow, cool. Like, I've never met Ashley yet, and I'm already she's an inspiration, and let's talk about this too. I mean, we touched upon this off camera, but unfortunately, nowadays the big word is epidemic of this, epidemic of that. And it almost makes me laugh. And I say this tongue in cheek, but we have an epidemic of obesity and type 2 diabetes in our country. And it's killing far more many Americans than anything COVID will ever do. And COVID's serious, but obesity and type 2 diabetes is far more serious. COVID will never kill as many as what type 2 diabetes and obesity does in our country. That's how serious it is. And I think someone like you, through your actions and your words, can really help to change a little bit of that in our corner of the world. And I say that, it's one thing, and we talk about body positivity, and that's great. We all should love who we are, love our bodies, no matter what, right? Tall, short, full figured, not full figured, whatever. God bless, you're beautiful. But there's a difference between being body positive and actually being healthy. They're two very different things. And you can celebrate someone's look. That's amazing. You look beautiful, but are you healthy? And I think that's the reason that's why I started this show, because, I don't like to talk about weight. It's not necessarily accurate sometimes, because I always say I'm 5'11", 170. My friend is 5'11", 220. He's healthier than I am. He's heavier than I am. So my thing is about nutrition, quality fuel in our bodies, the Ferrari. I always say our bodies are Ferraris. Don't put crap gas in the Ferrari. So, I think you having this platform, you are someone, you're a bodybuilder, you're a champion. It's something that people, especially in this day and age, maybe we don't look at too often because we're too busy. You see so many channels of like, oh, I'm going to eat this triple decker pizza burger, 10 million calories, and I'm going to sit on the couch, Netflix and chill, and I'm going to eat, look how much I can eat. It's like, whoa. And I think that's why you're inspirational. It's like, look at this person, Ashley. It's about quality, what we put into ourselves, and how exercise, these are things that I'm going to do a show later on, but it doesn't take a lot of money. It's a cop out, and so we can look at you and say, wow, she did it. I'm not God. Ashley's not God. But if Ashley is a human being that got up, she did it. And so, like I said, you got a big platform, you got a big microphone, and I know that you're going to use it for great things, and you're going to keep on doing great things. So let me ask you, my next question is, so what's your favorite exercise in the gym?
My favorite exercise has to be pull-ups. Weighted
Really?
pull-ups. Yes. Because as I told you, I couldn't even go like that when I first started training. And now I could do like 20 pounds for like 5 reps. And that was a really big accomplishment for me.
Yeah.
So not just about how I was changing like physically and how I looked, but those gains in the gym and getting stronger, that felt really amazing too.
Right. And that's that body-mind connection. You are physically, but now you're mentally too. And so it's funny. I would say, most Americans can't do a pull-up. Not one. Most Americans can't, So the fact that you're like banging them out. And as you know, pull-ups are great overall exercise. I mean, you're working your abs, your delts, your pecs, your tris, your forearms, your hand strength. So yeah, that's a really good pull. That's a really good exercise to pull up. Okay, so pull-ups your go-to. And when you're doing pull-ups, the whole gym is watching, kind of. Like like in college, I used to be a trainer at Gold's Gym. And like anytime someone had the cojones to get up on the pull-up bar, you saw the gym kind of, everyone's like,
how many are they gonna bring out?
Yeah. You don't want to. Yeah, you got to represent when you're on that pull-up bar. So you can't hide. You're up in the air. You're doing pull-up. Okay. So my other thing was, and it kind of going back to this, the importance of year-round nutrition. So what do you typically, what do you typically eat for like a lunch off season? You generally, like Ashley, what is Ashley like for lunch?
For lunch, I'm not even gonna lie. My favorite thing is tacos.
Okay. Taco might not be a bad thing. I mean,
No, you got
there's
a little
chicken in there,
carb,
protein. You got some
protein. You could put some lettuce, some
100%.
salsa.
Ironically, I would say the worst thing about the taco would be the shell, because
Yeah.
that's the carb, that's the processed carbs, and I'm always preaching that processed carb. You need carbohydrates, just not processed carbs. You need carbohydrates from vegetables, carbohydrates from nuts, carbohydrates from other sources, just not pasta bread, cake cookies, and that's all garbage carbs. But yeah, so taco, okay, that's not necessarily a bad thing. So okay, now and dinner, what would be like a typical healthy dinner for you?
Again, chicken. Like I'm just letting down, go to the chicken breast, and then I'll find something to put with it. Probably because, like, for breakfast, I don't really have a veg in there. I would maybe do some steamed spinach or throw a little salad together. Sometimes I like asparagus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you're mentioning all things that are low in carb, and high in protein, which again is I think generally speaking a good thing to do. And again, I'm not a doctor or nutritionist or dietitian. We have to ask our mutual friend Phyllis, who was on the show twice. But
Yeah.
I think when people are suffering from a lot of diseases that they're giving themselves, like type 2 diabetes and obesity or being overweight, that's your excessive processed carbohydrates. This is your cake and your chips and your bread and the pasta, and so you're citing, okay, so you're going with salads and chicken, which is a good thing. It's going to obviously, as you know, right, lean you out. Did you feel better like when you were on your, I don't know what your diet, well, when you mentioned it, you alluded to it before, during COVID, we're all locked up in our homes. So you presumably tweaked and changed your diet. Did you feel better once you started to train and change?
Oh yeah, like before I got back in the gym, I was literally like walking down the street, I'd be wheezing. Like I was not in good shape.
No.
I didn't know like how to eat properly. I would just eat because I was bored because it's there. Eat a whole family size bag of chips. Like let me tell you, like it was bad.
Right. And right. And that's my thing. I always say food is medicine, again, not that you can't have pizza or a bagel or chips or French fries, but I think, the word is moderation. And I always laugh though, because what does moderation mean though? Because I have friends that'll be like, oh no, moderation. Yeah. I have it, only in the afternoon. What? Like, bro, no, like moderation for me means maybe twice a month. And then, but you know what, Ashley, and tell me what you think of this. I have friends and people in my circle that be like, what am I supposed to do? Oh, I got to eat that chicken and salmon and vegetables. That's not living. And my thing is, hold on. That is living, because don't you want to feel better? Don't you want to feel stronger? Don't you want to feel healthier? That's a reward for eating premium food. When you eat pasta bread, chips, cake, cookies, soda, sweet drinks, alcohol, no, that's a punishment. Your body, you're putting cheap fuel in the Ferrari. You're going to start breaking down. You're going to get sicker. You're going to be mentally also not well, because that affects your mind. You're going to have more aches, more pains. You're going to be more tired. You want that? That's not living. Living is eating premium. Your grilled chicken, your salmon, your vegetables, your fruits, your legumes, your nuts. That's premium fuel for the Ferrari, our body. But it amazes me how people act like, no, that's not living. How is that a punishment? I feel great. I tell people, listen, we all have to die. I get that. And I always say, I'm going to lead a short life, but I want it to be a quality short life. I'm not trying to live to 100, but I don't want to be like, I'm tired, I'm sick, like you alluded to, right? You were walking down the block and you were gassed out. Who wants that? I don't want aches and pains. So you're living this. You see this now. You're a competitor. You're a champion. You're nutrition. I think we forget about that. When we hear bodybuilder, we think, oh, just muscles in the gym. But I would say maybe 50% easily, right? Of your
maybe if not more, because if you're not getting that protein, your muscles aren't going to look right. If you're eating too much carb, you're going to look bloated. Like you can't. If I ate the way I was eating and still, even though I was training consistently, I wouldn't have done well.
Right. And also you wouldn't feel well. you know?
Exactly.
And
I feel the best I've ever felt in my life, I have
me,
to say.
me too. I got off the processed carbs. Yes, once in a while I'll have a pizza or cake or something like that. And we're going to get into what your favorite naughty food is, but, and I'm not, but it's more like twice a month. The rest of the month, I'm eating premium foods. I'm drinking water, not alcohol, water, not soda, maybe seltzer, but the juicy drinks, the iced tea, and diet soda. I gotta laugh. People are like, oh yeah, I drink diet soda instead of regular soda. You know what? You might as well drink paint, because diet soda is like, no, but my thing is like, don't you want to feel better, healthier? And ladies and gentlemen, you just heard it from Ashley. She feels great. And then you add in exercise. I mean, you're going to feel through the moon. So now, what is a favorite naughty food of yours? Like, I have mine, but what's your favorite go-to naughty food?
So my go-tos, I either like ice cream or I like 7-Eleven, like Slurpees. I like slushies for some reason. So what I used to do on my prep instead, I would just blend up like some pineapple with ice. So at least it's fruit. Like
That's not even naughty. But by the way, that's what I do. And you know what's funny? I'm drinking it right now. This, by the way, Ashley, if you haven't, I highly suggest. Starbucks does a dragon fruit icy.
Okay.
Oh, the best. The only thing is, it's like you got to mortgage your house to have the small cup. So I do, I do what you just said. Is I just make it at home too. I'll get the frozen strawberries or pineapple, little ice, water, boom, mix it up, and it tastes great. But you touch on something. I think when people think, I want dessert or I want a treat, they always think it has to be like, this, cake or candy. And my thing is, how great does, you just said it, putting pineapples and ice in a blender with some water. I mean, that just tastes amazing. You can put bananas in there. You can put whatever you want in there. I mean, that's a treat. I mean, like, who doesn't? So I think the other thing too is like changing the paradigm in our mind of, well, what is a treat? It doesn't have to be this lard infested double-decker cake fried thingy. It can be a treat, again, fruits or different other things that are nuts or whatnot. But okay, so my other question, and we're running low on time here, so bodybuilder, and I asked you off camera because it's like, okay, does she bodybuild? Like, is that what you do? Like, so what else are, like, what other avenues are you pursuing, or is bodybuilding something you do full-time? What's going on in Ashley's world?
So all my interests, ironically, they all revolve around fitness, because the other thing I'm into is massage therapy. I just finished my massage program for school.
Cool.
So now I'm studying to take the licensing exam to become a LMT.
Awesome. And you touching on that, and I think, as our generation, well, I'm older than you, but I think, if we look at our grandparents or our great grandparents or even our parents, they're the generation, I think, of like, okay, just go to the doctor. And even now people are like, pill, 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 pill. But I think as a society, we're getting better at holistic approach, not just, yes, our doctors are important, but hey, massage therapy, yoga, nutrition, talking about our mutual friend Phyllis, how about getting a dietitian or a nutritionist or a trainer or all three or whatever, not just popping the pill, of whatever, So you do massage therapy is awesome, because health is more than just take a pill, take a pill, take a pill, take a pill.
Yeah. I also have something I want to touch on that. As somebody who, I also studied psychology before going into massage, and I had my own experience with mental health where I was prescribed drugs. And I have to say, just taking care of my body and eating well now, like, I feel a lot better than I did when I was on that stuff. So I'm a big proponent of that.
Ashley, you're let me tell you, you're going to make me talk for 10 hours. I've done multiple shows on Wellness Week here where we talked about that. And I even reviewed the top two therapy apps, BetterHelp and there's the other therapy app. They're online apps. Talkspace, yes. Yeah. Talkspace and BetterHelp. And I did a whole show on this. And I can't stress enough. I mean, again, we're so quick to pop the pills, and if you have to and you've exhausted everything, cool. All for popping pills, with your doctor's, guidance. But Right. You know, and I've gone through so much too where I had anxiety and stress, and people are like, I just take this prescription. I'm like, you know what? Hold on. Let me look at my life, you
It's
know?
the side effects. Like,
Right. And I found out, oh, I drink 6 cups of coffee a day. Maybe I should stop that. And my anxiety would go down. Sure enough, it went down. I incorporated yoga. I got off of a lot of foods that have caffeine in it, and getting out more, exercising more. And it's funny you touch on that. Exercise does more than just for the muscle. I would make the argument exercise does the most for your mind. When
oh
you get
yeah.
out, a simple walk, it releases endorphins, it boosts your mood, but we're so quick to pop those pills. And my thing is to the viewers and anybody, please, like, look up a therapist. It's not that expensive like it once was. Look up a dietitian or a nutritionist or a trainer. Chances are, if you get involved in that, you're not going to need pills, because pills solves one problem but gives you 7 more different problems. And it's not a joke. Pills, many of them, especially for psychological situations, they're downright, I mean, they can be toxic. Read the back of them. I mean, so, and again, I'm not saying don't go on them, but maybe get a second opinion and talk to a dietitian first, see what you're eating, see how you're living. And Ashley, I'm glad you touched on that, because it's serious business. It's not candy popping some of these psychoactive drugs and stuff like that. So kudos to you for touching on that. And I think we all have, I always say, if you have a brain, you have mental health issues or mind health issues, I like to say. We all have that. If you have a sore throat, you're going to have a sore mind eventually. And how you handle that's important. And I would say nutrition, therapy, exercise, try that first for 30 days. Again, if it's something, God forbid, you're suicidal or something very, very serious, you need to call the suicide hotline, which we have links to on this page. You need to go to a doctor. Obviously, we're not saying disregard doctors, but why not talk to a yoga instructor? Why not talk to a massage therapist? Why not talk to a dietitian? Why not do those things? It can't hurt, so kudos to you for mentioning that. Yeah. And having that enveloping, a totality of our health. So you got me on a roll there. I'm like, yeah, but yeah, I always say exercise helps this more than anything else, So in closing, so your favorite food is that. Okay. Your favorite naughty food, okay, would be my favorite naughty food is, I could be bad. I mean, cannolis, tiramisu.
Oh.
I love ice cream too. My favorite is chocolate chip cookie dough. I mean, what's your favorite ice cream?
My favorite. Honestly, I'm kind of basic. I like vanilla.
Okay. Vanilla, it depends on, all right. But yeah, if I do eat vanilla, it has to have like chocolate sprinkles on it or like strawberries in it. And I wanted to bring that up too, because like you and I talked off camera, right? I do these shows where I'm talking to, athletes like yourself or trainers, and it's like, eat carrots and salmon. It's like, cool. But look, we're human and it's okay to have treats. And that's why I wanted to bring that up too. It's like, hey, relax, folks. Enjoy that ice cream. Enjoy that beer. But it shouldn't be a weekly thing, I would say, my opinion, because again, our bodies are Ferraris. We put premium fuel in the Ferrari. You want to throw in 87 crap octane once in a while and ruin the engine, go ahead. But anyway, so actually, in closing, was there anything else that you wanted to add or tell us about? I mean, what did your family, by the way, what did your family think about this when you're like, I'm going into competition?
At first, they were like, people that do that, they're in the gym all day. Like, this is going to take up too much of your time. I don't know why they didn't get it at first, but trust me, by the time I got up on that stage, they were like, I'm really proud of you.
Let me tell you, you're borderline intimidating too, because I saw those photos. I'm like, don't mess with her, man. She'll just boom, and that'll be that. Like, yeah, I mean, you definitely, and that's the other thing I wanted to have you on too. It's like, you see these bodybuilders, all of you up there on stage, and it's intimidating. So it's like, I also wanted to have you on to say, hey, this bodybuilding champion, Ashley, she's a human. She likes ice cream. She enjoys life too, but so don't be intimidated. If you see her, just, she's not going to flex on you and squat you and like throw you. But yeah, so no, that's awesome. And so now do you have, is there any other competitions that you have on your horizon? Are you just chilling for now, concentrating on massage school, or are we going to see you again in competition and throughout the tri-state?
I'm definitely taking the rest of this year off, maybe next year. I'm thinking probably I might even think about going into wellness. So I might switch divisions. We'll see what happens. But definitely, if you guys can follow me on Instagram, that's where I update all my life, everything going on. So you'll get to follow the journey.
Okay, so on Instagram, it's Foundations of Greatness, Foundations of Greatness on IG on Instagram. So definitely check out Ashley and her journey. And like I said, I'm meeting you on the show here, but I'm so proud of her. I feel like.
Thank you.
Gold star. Yeah, I mean, really is. It's something, again, we all can relate to it because we all have bodies. And it's like, hey, it's very, very motivational. So I wish you much continued success and congrats on the big win this past July. And, bigger and more success coming your way. So for sure. But thank you, Ashley. And thank you, everybody, for watching. So we got another great bunch of shows coming up. Don't forget, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the notification, share the show and this episode with friends and family. So Ashley, again, thank you for making time for coming on to Wellness Week here. And
thank you for having me.
Yeah, enjoy the rest of your summer. Thanks.